Facebook is considering tweaking its controversial political ad policy and possibly restricting microtargeting. Now, as it stands at the moment, politicians can target potential voters by race, gender, income, and other personal information. Reports suggest that Google, which has so far stayed silent on the political ad controversy, is mulling changes. The Palmer Group CEO, Shelley Palmer, is here. Good to see you,
Hello,
as
Richard.
always.
How are you?
So, what's wrong with the current position?
Well, actually, sources very close to those conversations at Facebook have confided in me that this report may have overstated what they're thinking about. They are considering all possibilities and taking all kinds of feedback, but ultimately, there's no plans whatsoever to change their current policy, which is to let politicians speak for themselves.
But others have different policies, don't
Yes,
they?
they do. Twitter announced that they're not going to take political advertising.
So that's
this
a no.
holiday
So
season.
that's just saying we're not doing any of it.
And it's a good move if you're those guys. Google is looking at the policies also. This is a very complex and incredibly divisive issue. Everyone seems to have a very strong opinion about what is the truth and what is not the truth and what should be said and what shouldn't be said. And so Facebook's policy is very simple. If you are the politician, you get to speak. Now, we have a podcast, Think About This, with Shelley Palmer and Ross Martin, and we had Carolyn Everson, their VP of Global Marketing Solutions, on our podcast this week, and she basically outlined those policies in a pretty significant way, in an honest way. We tested her, said, why don't you just give up on political advertising altogether? Twitter did, and her feeling was small politicians and small markets around the globe need the opportunity to speak their mind, and they need the platform Facebook. So
I just find the whole thing
good outweighs the bad.
I find the whole thing bizarre, in the sense that we've always known that politicians either exaggerate, fabricate, or lie to a certain extent. So why is everybody suddenly getting their knickers in a twist? We're not talking here about the same cases of Russian hacking and fake news and that sort of thing, are we?
No, and realistically, look, when the Biden campaign said to Facebook, look, this is an ad Trump put out there, and this ad contains falsehoods, Facebook's question was, and I think rightly so, okay, that's what you say, but we don't have proof. So if you have a problem with it, take it to the public, and the public will decide. And I think that's pretty much the right policy. I don't want, the only thing I can think of that's worse than Facebook being the arbiter of the truth, or let's say nobody being the arbiter of the truth, is Facebook being the arbiter of the truth. Or worse, Mark Zuckerberg being the arbiter of truth for mankind. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense to me. Let the public see what the politicians say and judge.
So then, from your in-depth understanding of this, why do the public? Why has this arisen? Nobody's ever, suggested. Maybe they do now. The New York Times does fact-check adverts and things like that.
Well, this really is, I think it's conflated. Fact-checking does happen on every platform. The New York Times, Facebook, everywhere else. This is specifically political advertising, and most specifically, advertising by the candidates.
Right, but
not from the PACs, not the other supporting
But what I'm saying
organizations.
is, if a car company wished to advertise on Facebook, Facebook would not be going around fact-checking the EPA regulations and whether or not you could do all that.
So no, first of all, there are standards and practices for advertising on Facebook, and they do check, and they do not allow ads that claim falsehoods. Otherwise, you and I would go on right now, and we'd have the Richard and Shelley snake oil sales, right? We would sell Get Rich Quick, and we'd sell Lose Weight Quick. I could certainly use that. And if they weren't fact-checking, we'd be making a fortune. They do fact-check. You can't do that. All they're saying is that when a politician places an ad and they're speaking for themselves, and I'm so-and-so politician, I support this, or I endorse this, or I've approved this message, that it's approved, and now you should take it up with the politician.
Remind me where we can enjoy.
So Think About This with Shelley Palmer and Ross Martin, a podcast it's called Think About This with Shelley Palmer and Ross Martin, where you will be a guest very soon, is available everywhere that you can get podcasts. Apple Podcasts, of course, thinkaboutthis.fm. It's available on Stitcher, Spotify, which is a great place to listen to podcasts. Wherever you like podcasts, Richard, you can find Think About This with Shelley Palmer and Ross Martin.
We were just about to say, by the way, what do you think is a legitimate amount to pay? What's the average for all your streaming services on television?
Everything all together, a legitimate amount? If my total amount that I want to pay?
I'll take out Spotify because it's...
Well, that's audio.
It's audio. So just for...
My video streaming all in?
Yeah. What would you...
I think if you could get it away for $50 to $60 a month, plus your broadband for $30 to $75 a month, you would have a good package. That's never going to happen. Start looking at the $200 range. That's where we're all going to be. Warner Media, Disney Plus, Apple. You put everybody together. This is going to... And by the way, you're not going to know where to find anything.
And how many members of the family are using your password?
Oh, I can't possibly say just me because I'm such an honest guy, but everybody else, they all share passwords. Everybody.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Richard.